Live from Southwest Florida's #1 primetime newscast. This is Fox 4 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Amy Wegman.
Hi, I'm Patrick Nolan. Thank you for choosing Fox 4 in your corner. It is a fact. Children have slipped through the cracks and died while the State Department of Children and Families was supposed to be protecting them. Our continuing coverage of this tragic problem has struck a chord with many of our viewers. A lot of you have written us with your concerns and questions, and we want to get you those answers. Fox 4's Erica Pitsy brought one viewer's voice directly to DCF's top dogs.
Stories of children dying on DCF's watch devastate Lee County resident Don Jacobs.
It seems to be the same story over and over and over and over again.
In hopes of hearing a different story from DCF, Jacobs came to me.
These people need to be held accountable.
Jacobs had questions for the agency, so I gave him the mic to ask away. Then I took those questions directly to the people at the highest levels of our area's DCF office, Cookie Coleman and Aaron Stitt.
What's the point of investigating a case or working a case if they're not going to act on it or protect the child?
In the last 3 months in Lee County, we've averaged 1,200 cases a month of suspected or reported alleged child abuse.
Our investigators are passionate about what they do, and at times they may feel overwhelmed with their caseloads. We've experienced a lot of turnover, low staffing. I think we're turning the corner on that.
They do investigate the cases, and maybe that's why we have one child instead of many children that have died. But in no way does that change the fact that one child should not have died.
When there is a mistake made, we need to learn from those mistakes as well.
How does someone take a case file that has that information in it and lay it on their desk or put it in a file cabinet, walk out the door, go home and sleep at night?
The investigators have a very, very large caseload. They have a mandate of seeing some children within 3 hours, some children within 24 hours. I would say actually that sometimes all of us read cases and we don't go home and sleep at night.
DCF says keep in mind investigators can't act on every indication of abuse because sometimes an indication does not mean the child's being hurt.
An example might be a child that makes a disclosure, a very young child, say a disclosure about some form of sexual abuse, and the child goes to the child protection team and there's absolutely no evidence and there's nothing that anyone can find, but the child made a disclosure. That could be considered an indication. It certainly is not enough probable cause to remove the child.
How many caseworkers do you keep that don't do the job and allow this to happen?
We don't keep caseworkers or child protective investigators that do the job. We do, however, investigate and see what happened and where the failures were.
Now, Jacobs had more questions that we got answered as well, like, are state laws adequate enough for the agency to protect children? And Coleman said the laws can always be improved. And actually, this year, DCF is hoping to push through at least 2 pieces of legislation that'll help speed up child protective investigations. And Coleman insists child protection is not a one-stop. You've got judges, law enforcement, caseworkers, everybody working together to protect children.
And we appreciate Don Jacobs coming in to ask those questions, because he was asking questions that a lot of people ask me in the community. They watch these stories, but they don't take that extra step, which is to show your face and go ahead and put it, and then you were able to connect directly. And basically, he's looking for answers.
Yeah, it's not like he expects DCF to be everywhere every time. I mean, he understands that it's a difficult job, but he does want them and expects for them to act on information if they have it. So that's why he sees some of these stories. He gets frustrated and just says, why aren't we seeing action? And, Cookie Coleman, who is the circuit administrator for our whole area here, she says, come on down. I welcome any questions. Come on in. She says, learn more, get yourself educated to see what they do and how they do it. And she says, just come on down.
Well, we appreciate the administrators making themselves available to answer those questions. All right, thank you, Erica. And we welcome you to voice your concerns on this or any issue, and you can get us through our website, fox4now.com.
Well, if you've been around Cape Coral lately, it's not hard to see all the dust and dirt flying around everywhere because of construction from the utilities expansion project. That project hooks people up to city water and sewer. But homeowners say contractors are tearing up their yards. 4 in Your Corner wants to know if the contractors are going to replace all the stuff that they've ruined. Fox 4's Taisha Fernandez got the answer.
Imagine coming home from your 9-to-5 regular job just to pick up a broom and clean up someone else's mess. And I'm not talking about your kids or your spouse's mess. How about the city of Cape Corals? That's what homeowner James Holland has been doing since last year.
It's a pretty tough situation out here.
This black tar makes it less dusty around here, but this was just laid down this past weekend. James Holland tells me he's been dealing with this dust for the past 5 months.
We're looking at 150 days, you know? That's a long time to deal with it.
And it's not just the dust. Holland tells me contractors knocked his mailbox down several times without putting it back up. They broke his sprinkler heads and tore up his front lawn.
I'm going to lose my yard. I mean, I paid to have the dirt put there. When I had my house built, they're taking it away.
I wanted to know if the construction manager of this project is going to take responsibility for Holland's broken home. So I went to MWH to find out.
And we will make sure that his complaints are closed out to his satisfaction.
But Phil Tunna tells me it may take up to 3 months. MWH has had more than 7,000 complaint calls since August of 2007. That's about 1,000 complaints a month.
We do sympathize greatly with the residents that have to live through the construction process. What we hope to do is manage their expectations as best we can.
And Tunna guarantees that if the contractors break or ruin your stuff, it will get replaced, but you might have to wait until the end of 2008. In Cape Coral, Taisha Fernandez, Fox 4 News.
Now, if you have any complaints against the contractors, we've made it easy for you. All you have to do is go to our website, fox4now.com, and click on story links. Well, the construction industry doesn't seem to be picking up anytime soon, but there's some good news out there. And job security for local minority contractors apparently is out there as well. Dozens showed up to the bid meeting tonight at the Fort Myers Housing Authority to try and secure the government contracts. It's all coming from the multi-million-dollar Hope 6 grant that will rebuild the Michigan housing project to a much more sophisticated development. Officials will pick the best minority contractors for the job, and they will have guaranteed construction work for the next 5 years.
Jobs are hard to come by. And so this is an opportunity for a lot of our residents that lived in public housing, that currently live in public housing, or that live in this direct community.
Some of the construction will start as early as May of this year. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, at least for now in Naples. Today, the Naples City Council decided to move forward with banning smoking on public beaches and in parks. Council members voted 6-1 to ban smoking. 2 months ago, Naples Mayor Bill Barnett asked the city attorney to look into whether it was possible to ban smoking from outdoor areas. City Council will vote on the issue during its first meeting next month.
A flurry of last-minute campaign endorsements and big rallies before tomorrow's Junior Super Tuesday for the Democrats. It is a battle for every vote in that one. For the Republicans, it could be the finale. Fox's Craig Boswell has more from Washington.
Barack Obama rallied veterans in San Antonio, Texas.
This is not a Republican or a Democratic issue. This is a moral obligation, and when I'm president, we will not leave any of our veterans behind.
Some polls show a slight lead for Obama in the Lone Star State before tomorrow's crucial primaries. Both Obama and Hillary Clinton have kept blistering campaign schedules trying to win the more than 400 delegates up for grabs in 4 states.
I think I know what's happening, and I believe that we're going to do well tomorrow, and I believe that that's going to be a very significant message to the country.
In Ohio, Clinton pledged a battle that will continue well past Tuesday.
Then we move on to Pennsylvania and the states still ahead. So I'm just getting warmed up.
But many political analysts believe Clinton needs overwhelming victories to continue.
If she wins both Ohio and Texas just by a small margin, she's still not going to get the nomination in my view, because of the delegate count.
Meanwhile, Republican frontrunner John McCain is less than 200 delegates away from clinching the nomination over Mike Huckabee.
We are guardedly confident that we can get a sufficient number of delegates with victories in Vermont, Rhode Island, Ohio, and Texas.
McCain picked up the endorsements of 6 Republican governors today.
And I think it's time to remove the presumptive label before nominee.
Mike Huckabee is holding 5 events in Texas today. Obama holds 3. Clinton is campaigning in both Texas and Ohio before tomorrow's vote. In Washington, Craig Boswell, Fox News.
Coming up at 10:29, my interview with the only Democratic superdelegate in Southwest Florida. Meanwhile, feminist Gloria Steinem raised some eyebrows as she campaigned for Senator Clinton in Texas over the weekend. She said there's a media bias against Clinton because she's a woman. And she mentioned Senator John McCain's time as a POW as an example. She said the media rightly treats him like a hero, but says if it were a woman's war record, the media would have a very different attitude. Here's her quote. Suppose John McCain had been Joan McCain, and Joan McCain had got captured, shot down, and been a POW for 8 years. The media would ask, what did you do wrong to get captured? What terrible things did you do while you were there as a captive for 8 years? A business that doesn't want your hard-earned cash. It's happening in Southwest Florida with an item that you or one of your friends may have. It's next. Play ball just ahead. The men of the Bluffton Baseball University team kicking off their season here in Southwest Florida. Just ahead, how the team is doing 1 year after a deadly bus crash.
Tom Johnston live in Skywarn 4. Some of you got a little rain today. Guess what? There's more on the way. I'll let you know how much and when coming up in your Skywarn forecast.
Fox 4 News. We keep pushing till we find answers. We don't just cover news, we uncover news. Fox 4 in your corner.
Our focus is the news, and that focus never changes.
Are you at risk? Telling the story from your perspective.
What do you think needs to be done to get them to stop doing this?
We are in your corner.
We are Fox 4 News at 10.
We tried for...
Well, it used to be that everyone always carried cash on them. Credit cards, debit cards, they weren't the norm. But in today's society, plastic seems to be the way to go. So much so that some stores aren't even accepting cash for certain products. Perfect example, Apple. It has one local man pretty hot under the collar considering he lives a debt-free lifestyle. He wants some answers, so I got them for him in tonight's 4 in Your Corner Consumer Watch. It's not uncommon to see Janice Robinson on the phone.
I'm a busy realtor. I have email I'm trying to open, contracts coming by email.
That's why she wants a phone that has all the bells and whistles so she can work from anywhere. Her old phone just isn't cutting it.
I've had the old Nokia prototype since the beginning of time.
Apple's iPhone caught her eye, and boyfriend Jim decided it was time to get Janice an upgrade. But when it was time to pay up, Jim was in for quite a surprise.
And he looked at me and said, "No, I'm sorry, we don't take cash." I said, excuse me, what did you say? He said, we don't take cash here. We can only take a credit card, MasterCard, or Visa, but we cannot take cash.
As people who live a debt-free lifestyle and use cash for everything, that was a problem. I wanted to get to the bottom of their cash concerns, so I got on the phone with Teresa Brewer at Apple's corporate office. She says it's about keeping track of how many iPhones one person buys. She emailed me this statement. Limiting iPhone sales to 5 per customer helps us ensure that there are enough iPhones for people who are shopping for themselves. We require a credit or debit card as payment to discourage unauthorized resellers. Apple insists on those card numbers so it can track the sales.
What do you think after you hear that?
I still feel it's a convoluted answer. It doesn't sit right with me.
I have never in my life, 46 years old, ever been told, we don't want your cash.
So with Apple saying no to cash, man is saying no to Apple.
We're going to stick with our old-fashioned phones for a while.
Now you might have noticed right here or on a dollar bill, it usually says legal tender for all debts, public and private. You can look at $1, a $5, a $10, a $20. It says it on every single bill. Now I checked with the feds and guess what? Under the law, businesses can demand credit if they want to. You don't have to like it, but they can do it. And Robinson doesn't. In fact, get this, she was so angry, she dumped all 5,000 shares of her Apple stock.
She showed them. We have got a correction to make to a story we first told you about last night on Fox 4 News at 10. Fox 4 told you the Division of Forestry started a brush fire burning in Charlotte County. We were wrong about that. The landowner, who is a certified burner, began that fire. The Division of Forestry tells us he did have a permit to do that. The fire burned as many as 190 acres in the Halls Ranch area. Division of Forestry tells us 90% of this fire is now contained. Also, we said there was a red flag warning in that area. The Division of Forestry says it did a red flag test in that area, and the conditions did not warrant a red flag warning. In Germany, a passenger plane carrying more than 100 passengers narrowly escaped disaster. Amateur footage shows the Lufthansa Airlines flight trying to land in Hamburg on Saturday. Strong crosswinds made the Airbus A320's first landing extremely difficult, forcing the plane to veer from side to side over the runway. A winter storm named Emma, which slammed into Central Europe this weekend, created those strong winds. None of the 131 passengers was seriously hurt. We have had our own winds in Southwest Florida. I was riding my bike in Fort Myers today. It was like twice the workout going against the winds.
More on the way tomorrow. I'm sure you welcome that, Mr. Athlete.
Yeah.
No,
his
I didn't
thigh
actually.
muscles look extra large.
It's going to be warm and breezy for tomorrow, Tuesday, all in advance of a front. That's what happens. The wind starts to blow, and you know that change is on the way, and it certainly is. Front should come through here tomorrow night, but let's start in the morning. Morning rush, partly cloudy. Mix of sun and clouds, 66 degrees. So fairly mild and humid, but as the day goes on, we'll see increasing clouds and breezes. In fact, we should see some winds around 20 miles an hour again tomorrow. 10% chance in the early afternoon that you see one of those passing showers, but the best chance for rain and storms is later in the day. In fact, it's beyond 5 p.m., although at that time we'll see about a 30 to 40% coverage, high of 83. Today we saw a few isolated showers. Started at Bonita Springs. It moved up to around North Fort Myers and then ended up in Port Charlotte, and you can see that has moved to the north since that time. Temperatures right now are very warm out there, and it's getting stickier as we await the front. 70 degrees in Port Charlotte, Fort Myers, 71 for you guys in Cape Coral, and 72 in Naples. Record today, at least it was tied, in Fort Myers, Page Field, 87 degrees, way up there. Normally we're at 79, and that record was previously set in 1967. Currently, again, 71, but the humidity is increasing, 68%. Winds at this hour, 8 miles an hour, and I think the winds overnight will be 8 to 10 before picking up again tomorrow afternoon especially. Satellite and radar showing that isolated shower that moved right along I-75 today, essentially from Bonita Springs up through Port Charlotte. Now we talk about the more significant rain, which could be in the forecast. First, I stopped the Skywarn forecast at 1 p.m., some scattered showers and storms at that time. But look, as I move it forward into tomorrow night, here we are, just time for News Tracker and the possibility of a band of showers and storms moving through at that time. That's associated with the actual cold front, which will not blow through here. It'll just slide a little bit to our south before stalling. A lot of cold air on the backside and severe weather out ahead of it. Tornado watch for parts of Mississippi and Louisiana and Alabama. Snow on the western flank of it, but most of it is the liquid precip. Look at this contrast in temperatures. 34 in Dallas, 73 in New Orleans. Big change. It was beautiful up the eastern seaboard today. If you have neighbors in New York, Philly, D.C., even Boston, I'm sure they told you how warm it was, and we're like, yeah, okay. Straight shot of southerly winds for tomorrow. There we go, in advance of the front, which is coming in from the west. I stop it again around 10 or 11 tomorrow night, which is when the front moves through. Could have some thunder boomers along with it. I don't think it'll be as severe as what they're seeing up in New Orleans and Jackson, Mississippi tonight. Front moves through again overnight and becomes stationary, keeping clouds around for much of the week. Record warmth today, front on the way, tomorrow night thunderstorms, and this week overall with the front getting hung up, going to stay a little unsettled. Okay, it doesn't automatically return to sunshine. We're going to have some clouds around. Tomorrow still warm, 81 to 85, and talk about winds, southerly on the water at 20 knots. Choppy conditions, small craft, use caution. It's getting, you know, kind of high out there with the seas 4 to 6 feet. 83 the high, breezy, 50% chance of scattered showers and storms, especially afternoon and nighttime tomorrow night. Wednesday, probably a down day, but the front comes back north on Thursday and Friday, giving us another round of rain. So this is going to be a little different this week. Have the umbrella handy. I think we'll have several chances for rain, and we need it, as you know.
Could catch you off guard. Bluffton University opens a new baseball season on the anniversary of a deadly bus crash.
And the team is doing it in Southwest Florida. Next on Fox 4 News at 10. We'll find out how they're doing 1 year later after that crash.
Plus, why more than 200 federal convicts could be walking the streets here in Southwest Florida very soon.
For Your Corner's troubleshooter, Marissa Mendelson. Her questions may be uncomfortable for them.
Why are you hiding?
But she gets results for you.
Bless you.
If you need someone in your corner, call our hotline or connect with a troubleshooter at fox4now.com.
Save thousands through Monday at Fort Myers Toyota. Get a new 08 Prius, just $319 a month. Or get 0 down, 0% financing. Plus, you get a nationwide lifetime warranty. Unlimited time, unlimited miles. Visit Fort Myers Toyota today.
It's going up right on time. As promised, Snook Bite Yacht Club and Marina on Fort Myers Beach will open this June. We're building a state-of-the-art boat storage facility, a spectacular clubhouse with resort-style pool and spa, and Bayfront Bistro, a beautiful waterside restaurant overlooking Estero Bay. Expectations are going up too because Snook Bite is almost ready, and the Rack-A-Miniums are still at pre-completion pricing. Call today.
Whatever's going on inside that oven is amazing.
New oven-toasted hash browns from Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Get a Dunkin' deal. Free hash browns with the purchase of any breakfast sandwich combo.
Yeah, now you can choose the size of your circle.
Chad's stealing another one.
Do it!
Wizard!
Who summons the wizard? See you guys. Hey, what's up?
Now with my circle, you can choose 5, 10, or 20 numbers to call for free.
We don't know what to do. You can do whatever you want. I chose the 20.
What?
Yeah, the ogres and the elves are always chatting me up. Chad, can you believe these guys?
My Circle. Now call any 5, 10, or 20 numbers on any network for free. Only from Altel Wireless.
Florida Gulf Bank, the power of personal service.
It was amazing. We reviewed the plans for our dream home, and our mortgage loan was approved almost immediately.
Florida Gulf Bank, where financial decisions happen right here. Where long-term relationships are forged, and a community thrives and grows.
That's Florida Gulf Bank. That's the power of personal service.
Save thousands through Monday at Fort Myers Toyota. Get a new 08 Camry, just $199 a month. Or get 0 down, 0% financing. Plus, you get a nationwide lifetime warranty. Unlimited time, unlimited miles. Visit Fort Myers Toyota today.
Some tough memories. It's now been 1 year since this major bus crash outside of Atlanta. The accident left 7 people dead, including 5 members of the Bluffton University baseball team. The team was on its way from Ohio to Fort Myers to play in a tournament. Today, the team took to the field in Fort Myers. The team had a doubleheader against Anna Maria College. Last year, the team's bus crashed on its way to Florida. It dropped 20 feet off an Atlanta overpass, landing in the middle of I-75. 35 people were on board, 6 died, 5 of them were players on the baseball team.
Full of emotions, both good and, mostly good. But once the game started, it was baseball. It was a 9-inning baseball game, and we just came out on the short end yesterday.
Now, the team flew to Florida for the spring trip this year. Is a drugstore chain about to give talk show host Maury Povich a run for his money? See who's really the daddy just ahead. And talking about sex with your kids. Awkward sometimes, right? We've got some simple advice for parents when it comes to having the talk with your children. Will superdelegates decide who the Democratic nominee should be for president? I put that question to the only superdelegate in Southwest Florida next.
This is Fox 4 News, fighting for you, holding the powerful accountable, giving viewers a voice. Fox 4 in your corner. Next on Fox 4 News at 10.
Who's your daddy? How you can now take a paternity test at home.
Almost 200 federal inmates could be back on these streets.
You're looking at the only Democratic superdelegate in Southwest Florida. I'll tell you if he supports Clinton or Obama for president.
In your corner, Fox 4 News at 10 continues. You're watching Southwest Florida's Fox 4 News at 10.
We take requests at Fox 4, and I recently got a note to Nolan's notes this morning from a viewer that said, have you guys done a story on the delegates who are actually deciding the presidency? Thanks, and I hope you'll do a story to educate everyone, including me, smiley face. One right back at you here, big smiley face. We have done several stories on this, a lot, but we're happy to do more as this story continues to evolve. As of now, only half of Florida's Republican primary votes are going to count at the convention, but that might not be such a big deal because McCain is so close to wrapping up the nomination. But on the Democratic side, none of Florida's primary votes will count at the Democratic National Convention, all because the state held its primary early this year in violation of both parties' rules. So you vote, and it doesn't count. We see that as democracy in crisis, and Florida's Republican governor, Charlie Crist, says he's got a fix. Let's hold Florida's Democratic primary again. The National Democratic Party chairman, Howard Dean, says he's open to that idea. A record number, nearly 2 million Florida Democrats, went to the polls for the primary on January 29th. Hillary Clinton won over Barack Obama, but neither had campaigned in Florida because that early primary broke the national party rules. Over the weekend, the state Democratic Party tried to take charge by going ahead with the second step after the primary, choosing delegates through caucuses. And many Democrats said the national party better count Florida's delegates, and some weren't so hot on the idea of a do-over primary.
We will never surrender. Seat the Florida delegation today!
Had the election, it's over. I'm sure the New England Patriots want a do-over, but we're not doing a do-over. The Democratic Party doesn't have the money.
Okay, so to recap, as of now, Florida's votes will not count at the Democrats' presidential selection process come the convention. Tomorrow's primaries, rather, or right before, whoa, where are we? I'm getting confused now. Let me just start over. No primaries today, fortunately. We had ours on January 29th. We got some big ones tomorrow, okay? And as of tonight, Obama is slightly ahead of Clinton with about 1,300 delegates over her roughly 1,200 delegates. Tomorrow's primaries have about 370 delegates up for grabs. And if neither Clinton nor Obama score that winning 2,025 delegates before the summer convention, the party's 796 superdelegates could end up picking the nominee. Simple, right? So what's a superdelegate, you ask? The party's top leaders and grassroots organizers make them up. And there's only one superdelegate in Southwest Florida. He's a grassroots guy. And I tracked him down in Naples tonight to find out what he's deciding to do in 2008. How did you become a superdelegate?
I was elected to the Democratic National Committee by my fellow Florida Democrats.
That's right. Chuck Mulkey tells me all superdelegates, or automatic delegates as he prefers to call them, all got their gig by some form of democratic means.
Everybody who's an automatic delegate, or what the media likes to call a superdelegate, has been elected by somebody, somewhere, sometime, somehow.
There's been a lot of speculation that neither Senator Clinton nor Senator Obama will get enough delegates on his or her own to win the nomination outright, and then it would go to the automatic or superdelegates like yourself.
But I have a different position, I think, than anybody that I've ever talked to about this. My position is that if the Florida delegation is not seated, I will not take advantage of my being an automatic delegate. If I'm seated and they are not, I will not use the privilege. I just don't think I should put myself in a position where I'm first among equals. I don't think that's right.
Even if your vote could decide who the
one
presidential...
vote.
It does come down to one vote sometimes in Florida.
Sometimes it does, but I just don't think that that's right.
Now, you are committed to one of the candidates.
I am.
You're committed to Senator Clinton.
I am.
How did that happen and why?
Well, first of all, she asked me.
Secondly, he tells me, is Bill Clinton's achievement as president to get Immokalee declared a rural empowerment zone, which brought some badly needed money to improving the Collier County community, which has long struggled with poverty. Mulkey tells me he chose to support Senator Clinton even before Florida's Democrats voted in the January primary and way before Senator Barack Obama proved himself as a serious contender. Have you been contacted by Senator Obama's campaign to switch over?
No. They all know me, and they know what the answer is going to be. I just feel once you make that commitment, you follow through on it.
And he tells me that he thinks all of Florida's delegates will be seated at the convention in late August. Just want to confirm Obama leading in the delegate race over Clinton by about 96 as of tonight. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If neither Clinton nor Obama lands a knockout punch in tomorrow's big primaries, the next big one is Pennsylvania in late April. For up-to-the-minute coverage on the race you can decide in 2008, just log on to our website, fox4now.com.
Well, it's a move that could put nearly 200 federal convicts in Lee County back on the streets. The U.S. Sentencing Commission is easing the harsh punishments on crack cocaine offenders. Critics who say the sentencing was racially based are saying finally. But as Fox 4's Shannon Malaire explains, the move has law enforcement wondering why.
When crack cocaine hit the streets in the mid-'80s, police say it tore apart neighborhoods. Major Baker with the Fort Myers Police says most of their drug arrests now are still crack-related.
This was in your community. It was an infestation of within your community of sales of drugs.
Lawmakers believe that infestation deserved harsh penalties, much harsher than those for the powder form of the drug. Now the U.S. Sentencing Commission is easing the penalties for crack. Attorney John Paul Galasso says it's time.
I think it does alleviate a large disparity in sentencing, which is what it was intended to do.
Critics say before, the law was discriminatory, giving crack offenders who were overwhelmingly black longer sentences than cocaine convicts who are overwhelmingly white.
I think it is a good ruling because I personally do not see much of a difference between crack cocaine and powder cocaine.
Supporters say the change now makes a distinction between the two types of drug. But law enforcement officers who work hard to keep it all off the streets say it's not just the drug, it's everything that goes along with it.
For us, I mean, you have a lot of violence that comes out of that. Shootings, homicides, robberies, there's a lot that is associated with that.
Drugs, violence, and all, police now worry once out, these convicts won't change their ways.
That's always a concern, and a lot of these guys, unfortunately, will reoffend in the future, and we'll go back and do the whole process over again.
And the police are right. In some cases, it's going to mean that people who've gotten sentences retroactively can file this hearing and appeal, and they may be out.
That power now lies in the hands of judges. In Fort Myers, Shannon Malaire, Fox 4 News.
Now, early release cases will be decided on a case-by-case basis. There will be no hearings. Instead, judges will review a convict's criminal record. If they're not a career criminal, they will most likely be eligible for an earlier release date. A gunman opens fire at a fast food restaurant during the afternoon lunch rush. It happened in West Palm Beach today. Police say at least 5 people were shot, 2 of them dead, including the gunman, who police believe may have shot himself. An off-duty police officer was reportedly inside the restaurant at the time of that shooting. An investigation is currently underway. The Fort Myers Police Department is cracking down on people who are carrying guns illegally. It's called Operation Safe Neighborhood, and you're looking at it. Since January 1st, the Anti-Crime Initiative has removed 64 guns from city streets. The idea is that every illegal gun taken off the streets is one less gun that can be used against an innocent citizen or to be used to gun down an officer, and it's one less gun to fall into the hands of a child. Major Baker with FMPD says teamwork is the key.
Before this even started, we met with a handful of the church leaders, community leaders, neighborhood watches, sent letters out saying this is what we're going to do, this is what we are hoping to do, we need your cooperation, which we've received that. Out of the 1,800 plus contacts, we've had 1 complaint. So that's very positive, and the guys are really doing a good job.
Now, Major Baker unveiled the operation at the beginning of the year and says the operation is still underway. If you have a tip on an illegal gun and you want to tell police, you can give them a call. The number's right there on your screen, 239-334-4155. And remember, you don't have to give your name. You can remain anonymous. In Washington state, fire officials suspect a radical environmental group sparked fires, destroying multi-million-dollar homes. The 6 houses are part of a Street of Dreams model home development. Fire officials say they believe arson because the fires were set in multiple places around each of those homes. A large painted sign was also found nearby, and it read, quote, "Build green, nope black."
Almost certain it was arson. There was a sign left out here by an environmental group condemning the construction, so that gives us an idea of what we're dealing with. It's a defensive fire. They're hot, low water pressure, so we're using the resources that we have.
Now, that sign the firefighters found was signed by the Earth Liberation Front, or ELF, a radical environmental group. The group has claimed responsibility for other arsons, including a 2001 fire at the University of Washington. Now, so far, there's no report of any injuries.
Liars and cheaters beware. 2 major drugstore chains are now selling paternity tests over the counter. Fox's Dan Springer has more.
The complicated and emotional question of biological fatherhood can now be answered with a quick trip to the corner drugstore. Rite Aid on the West Coast and Meijer stores in the Midwest are now selling a paternity test kit under the brand name Identigene.
there's perhaps more anxiety in not knowing than there is in coming to know the truth about the paternity of a child. And so we have found in our experience that people are generally very capable of handling the situation.
The kit sells for $20. It contains some cotton swabs, a form, and a self-addressed envelope. You swab the inside cheek of the mother, the child, and the alleged father, mail it all back to a lab in Utah along with a check for $120, and within a week you know who's the daddy. The results can't be used in court. For that, a third party has to do the swabbing. But many doctors and genetic counselors worry about making this information available to families without offering the human assistance they may need to cope with the results.
Virtually every case of paternity testing that I've dealt with has involved a lot of crying, tears, and long-term issues for the family that have lingered for a long time.
Other genetic test kits for cancer and mental illness are already sold on the internet, and some believe it's only a matter of time before they're in stores also. But this test has critics concerned about what it says about the breakdown of the family.
This is exhibit number one that marriage does serve an important social role in helping women understand and know who the father is. There are very few women that want to be in this situation.
Identigene has sold tens of thousands of these kits and says that with as many as 1.6 million men paying child support for kids who aren't theirs, they want to make them as easily available as pregnancy tests. In Seattle, Dan Springer, Fox News.
We're talking about sex in tonight's 4 in Your Corner medical report. Researchers say sex talk should be a normal dialogue between parents and kids. They say ongoing discussions about sex could ward off promiscuity in teenagers. Behavioral scientists say making sex part of everyday discussion helps strengthen the bond with parents and their children. It also suggests that kids are likely to wait longer before engaging in sexual activity. The judge that some people love to hate on American Idol, Simon Cowell, has turned down a $2 million offer to be the spokesman for Viagra. In this month's edition of Britain's Glamour magazine, Cowell called the offer a bleep, expletive insult. The 48-year-old Cowell does say he uses Botox, saying it's no more unusual than toothpaste, and he says he does wear platform shoes to appear taller.
Very interesting.
One set of golden arches trying to attract customers in a new way.
Next in tonight's 4 in Your Corner Extra, how restaurant managers say being a little different is the secret to success.
A new study shows longer work days leave Americans like you nodding off on the job. See what we mean in a 4 in Your Corner medical alert.
Hey peeps, TJ at the Weather Wall on a marvelous Monday. This is what I got for you coming up. We're going to give you information on an approaching strong cold front. Also going to look at the thunderstorm outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And we have some pictures from the Cape Coral Block Party. That's all coming up. Stay tuned.
I'm David Jones, inviting you to attend an upcoming seminar. Here's what 2 of our clients had to say about the experience.
Well, David's seminar is very enlightening. He deals primarily with estate planning. He deals basically with how life insurance fits into your total plans for your estate.
In fact, we have recommended him to quite a few people, and they all seem to be very happy with David Jones.
Today, Florida Lotto has...
When it comes to McDonald's, you may think that if you've seen one, you've seen them all. But one set of golden arches is trying to attract customers by being just a little different. Luis Pinel with Fox Business Network has the story.
From the outside, this McDonald's in Hacienda Heights, California, looks like any of their other 33,000 restaurants across the country. But the inside is nothing like your typical Mickey D's. Gone are the hard yellow seats and the dull decor that bring back memories of Ronald McDonald. Now there's leather seats, bright red columns, bamboo plants and waterfalls. That's because the restaurant has been feng shuied. Designers have used the ancient practice of arranging objects to promote health, happiness, and good fortune.
The principles of feng shui translate or transfer to every culture, because to feel at peace, to feel at harmony, to make people feel welcome, and to feel balanced when they come to a place, they're going to come more often.
Brownstein pumped millions of dollars into the makeover to appeal to the area's growing Asian population. But he found that plenty of non-Asian customers came in to linger over their Big Mac and fries. Sales at his franchise are up 20%.
And it's a high volume store to begin with, so it's a big dollar number.
The makeover is an attempt by the McDonald's Corporation to improve its image by remodeling thousands of its restaurants. It's called the Forever Young campaign, and it fits in with the policy of catering to local tastes. In France, they serve a fondue-style burger, and in the Middle East, it's a pita-wrapped McArabia sandwich. In Hacienda Heights, they're serving feng shui with their fries, whether the customer wants it or not. But nobody's complaining.
It's clean, it's up to date, it's so modern. The TVs are fantastic, I think, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful restaurant, I think, for McDonald's.
Customers shouldn't be surprised by anything in the store. The feng shui master made sure the doors were not aligned. That's to confuse the bad spirits, so they stay away. And there are even coins under a path that leads to the cash register for prosperity.
This water compared with this hug. You see here, hug is a love. So like of a lover, they sit there and watch this, they feel romantic and good mood.
Finding love at a McDonald's, that's better than a Happy Meal. In Hacienda Heights, Louise Pinnell, Fox Business Network.
Sleep-deprived workers are costing companies billions of dollars in lost productivity. That's according to a new study conducted by the National Sleep Foundation. 3 in 10 American workers have become very sleepy. 29% say they have even fallen asleep at work in the past month. 12% of workers report having arrived late at work because of sleepiness. 36% have nodded off or fallen asleep while driving or given the news. 20% have sex less often or have less interest in sex because they're too sleepy to do it. The study says longer work days and increased pressure from employers are to blame.
Now your Skywarn 4 weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Johnston.
Hey, it wasn't my idea to cover Amy's face on the van. I mean, that was just not cool, Patrick Nolan. But that was his idea, even though Amy was away in D.C. enjoying herself. We had a good time down there at the Cape Coral block party. You were very missed out there, Amy Wegman. Let's give you another picture. Yeah, we're hanging out on top, and Patrick, he's a cross between a rock star and a politician. Very popular man. Please send us your weather pics, or I'll keep doing this. News at fox4now.com. Subject is Fox 4 weather pics. Day part forecast for tomorrow. Partly cloudy, becoming mostly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Get ready for change, folks. Have the umbrella handy, and I'll let you know if the storms are going to be strong. Right now, it appears as if the severe weather is going to stay in North Florida. I have the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for the state coming up, so hold on. One more warm day, and then we'll take a little bit of a dip as we head into the day on Wednesday. It's warm out there right now, into the lower 70s everywhere, and hey, time to check the rain gauges for Southwest Florida for the year. And wouldn't you know it, we're always playing catch up, always playing catch up. We're 2 inches below normal in Naples, and we're 1 inch below normal, more or less, in Fort Myers. We're going to get some rain out of this, potentially. If we see some of these stronger thunderstorms, we can see upwards to 1 inch of rain, maybe more than that. Generally about a half of an inch to an inch. We'll have to see how it all pans out. Today we had a little renegade shower move along I-75. It moved from Bonita Springs up through North Fort Myers and over toward Port Charlotte. The heavy stuff, the more organized activity, is in the southern Mississippi Valley. Boy, they're seeing some tornado warnings tonight in parts of Mississippi. And look at New Orleans, under the gun. Here it comes. So severe thunderstorms there. Let's put the maps in motion. High pressure gives way to this strong front. We're going to have a straight shot of southerly winds coming up the Florida Peninsula in advance of the system. Warm, humid, and then rain should fall. Could have a couple of occurrences tomorrow with scattered showers and storms in the afternoon, and then that main band that comes through about this time tomorrow night. Front moves through, late Tuesday into Wednesday. The front also becomes stationary just to our south, and that allows for the clouds to stick around. Here is the outlook. The slight risk is shaded in just to the Tampa Bay area. It is north of our area. Still, this is a general outlook for the potential for severe weather. We're just on the outskirts of that, and certainly we could see a severe thunderstorm warning or two. 66 tonight, partly cloudy, kind of humid. Tomorrow, daytime highs in Collier, 83 Naples, 80 in Marco Island, Golden Gate Estates, 85 degrees. 83 Cape Coral, over in Captiva, 80. Bonita Beach, 81. Lehigh, 84. Northport at 82. Wind southerly at 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. Choppy conditions, bays and rivers. Boaters, use caution out there. Water temp 71 in the Gulf of Mexico. 78 on Wednesday as we scale back the rain. That front goes south temporarily and then comes back north as a pseudo warm front Thursday, Friday. Another good chance for rain. But it was gorgeous over the weekend. You were dearly missed. People were asking about you.
I see you guys blocking my face. That's fine.
Thanks to the website Facebook, two old friends have found each other.
But the story doesn't end there. Next at 11, how their chance meeting helped save one of their lives.
Stay with Fox 4 News. We're in your corner. We stand and deliver that belief every day. Fox 4 News. He's unprotected.
From hero to criminal, police say a cab driver in New York who claimed a baby was abandoned in his cab lied about the whole thing. Both the driver and his girlfriend are now arraigned in New York City courtroom. Investigators say he took the 6-month-old baby girl to a firehouse and told the authorities that a stranger left her in his cab. But now police say it was all an elaborate lie on behalf of the infant's father. He is the girlfriend's brother. The attorney for the pair says they acted, quote, responsibly for the welfare of the child, since the dad could not care for the baby.
Her brother already had problems with the law. And his girlfriend was a minor, was a child. And he was afraid that if they caught him with the child, he would be arrested.
Primero que todo,
first of all,
públicamente quiero pedir que me disculpen.
Publicly, I would like to apologize.
Haber inventado algo que en realidad no pasó.
For making up something that didn't exist, that wasn't there.
Mi único propósito era hacer el bien y
my only purpose was to do the right thing.
Desgraciadamente no fue así.
And unfortunately, I didn't do the right thing.
I've got to recap because people in our own studio are a little confused here, okay? The last guy who spoke was the cab driver who said he found the baby. That was the cab driver's girlfriend. The girlfriend's brother is the father of the baby. Are we all set? Does everybody have it now? No. Both the baby and her 14-year-old mother, who is the sister, well, anyway, are in the care of Child Services tonight. The baby's fine. We'll be right back after this.
Coming up tomorrow on Fox 4 Morning Blend, what happens when you meet the man or woman of your dreams, but their parents are a nightmare?
Plus, no matter what kind of music you like, you're going to love the only band guaranteed to melt away on Wanted a Pound.
That's tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Fox 4 Morning Blend.
Drive, determination, that's what sets Fox 4 apart.
Fox 4 uncovered dozens of subcontractor liens.
Watch, and you'll see why.
We are in your corner.
We are Fox 4 News at 10.
6 lucky winners shared in winning the Bad Beat jackpot for $240,000. Ask how you can win next.
Seminole Casino.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
Where can you find big travel savings every day? On Expedia. Save up to $330 when you book your flight and hotel together. Plus, every deal is backed by the Expedia Best Price Guarantee. Book together and save on Expedia.com.
I've spent over half my life in fashion, working with the world's best designers. And for the past 2 years, we've taken that knowledge and created the hottest furniture brand in the country, Cindy Crawford Home. And Rooms To Go is the perfect partner because our focus is on fashion and quality, always at a great price.
Come see the new Cindy Crawford Home Collection, now at Rooms To Go.
I can't wait to be part of your home.
Congratulations to Results Weight Loss Centers for recently being voted the best local weight loss center in Southwest Florida.
I lost 3.5 pounds in just 1 week for a total of 50 pounds, and I did it in Southwest Florida.
Pay nothing for 90 days with guaranteed results. Call now. You can be doing it too.
Easier than I thought. dedicated counselors, and I did it in Southwest Florida.
Call now, you can be doing it too.
Weight Loss Center, I'm doing it.
Warm and windy again tomorrow and potentially stormy, especially late in the day. I'll have your complete forecast again on News Tracker at 11.